Well, I've got to follow up on yesterday's video. The big breaking news about the whole GameStop ANC stock issue. Also, apparently there was a cryptocurrency. I could be butchering this name, but Dogecoin, Doggy Coin, something like that, right? DOGE coin, okay? It's a cryptocurrency. It started doing fairly well. It skyrocketed up to around 7 cents. It's obviously kind of going downhill today. Last I checked, it was around 4 cents a purchase. But that being said, Robinhood, and I have Robinhood on my phone, started making some heavy restrictions on people being able to purchase any of these stocks, okay? So Robinhood came out and they said, okay, you're not going to be able to buy anymore. They think they restricted GameStop and AMC. I don't know if they restricted any others or not, but they said you can't purchase any of these. You can sell them. Now, what I've been kind of reading on what's taking place here is because they're not allowing any purchase of the stocks, that it's starting to make the value drop because no one else can buy into it, right? And so once the value starts dropping and the only thing you've got left to do is sell, you can sell it, but if no one can purchase it, it's making it hard to sell, which means the price continues to drop. And then, from what I'm understanding, I might have this wrong. If I do, someone point this out, but it sounds to me like the price is going to drop so dramatically that you're going to lose all the investment that you made in the first place. So in other words, it's going to crush your ass. Okay? But Robinhood is now going to be facing definitely class action lawsuits over this. Without a doubt, they are standing in the way of people being able to trade in a market. They are protecting these hedge fund billionaire jackasses. Now, some things that I've seen within the last couple of days that really reassure me is I'm seeing people on the left who are in favor of being able to trade like this. I see people on the left who are pissed off at Robinhood for this, and I'm seeing people on the right who are pissed off about this. I watched 2 videos already of right-wingers defending us, unless, of course, you're Ben fucking Shapiro, which he defended the hedge fund guys. But the 2 videos I've seen so far that are in complete defense of the people who are getting ripped off by Robinhood and are saying these hedge fund billionaires are, a bunch of jackasses. I've seen video from the conservative twins and Mark Dice as things stand right now, and they both are defending these people taking a hit, but these people being the hedge fund billionaires, right? The conservative twins frequently referred to the hedge fund billionaires throughout their video as cocksuckers. You can quote that, okay? They of course bleeped it out, but that's what they were saying, okay? So this is something where, again, this is what I've said in the past. You'd be surprised what people actually have in common on the right and the left. They both have a disdain for these rich billionaire jackasses. And the whole name of the game has been, so apparently, and I've also found out a little bit more information about how the hedge fund stuff operates. So apparently, they loan stock from someone. It's almost like they rent stock. They get the stock from the person, but they don't really buy the stock. They take control of it. And what they're doing is betting against it so it will fail. And then they have to then buy the stock back to give back to that person or something like that, right? It's a very complicated process for a redneck in South Carolina, but nonetheless, what bankrupted them was the fact that they took control of the stocks, legally are obligated to buy the stocks back and return it to the people that they got it from, and because they were anticipating the stocks to go down, and instead the stocks skyrocketed, they lost their fucking ass because they legally had to try to buy these things back. And so, part of what they've done with cutting off the trading, where you can't buy more, is they're halting that price, or in some cases even potentially making it drop, so that when they have to come buy these stocks back, they are able to cap it and buy it back at that price without it continuing to skyrocket through the roof. And the whole damn argument, again, is they are manipulating the market. So what the fuck are these hedge fund jackasses doing? That's clear market manipulation. But you know what? You don't have to take my word for it. There's a guy on Fox News, I'm going to play a clip of right here, by the name of Charles Payne. Now, Charles Payne made a infamous appearance in another one of my videos. One of my by far my most watched video on this channel. And it's over a year old and for some reason just blew up again within the last month and went from 10,000 views within 2 weeks to 30,000 views. And it's like 32,000 right now or something, right? Charles Payne was in that video arguing against a single-payer healthcare system or universal healthcare, okay? So he hasn't exactly been the most flattering person that I've ever shown on my channel from Fox News. But I think you're going to be surprised at this clip.
Well, Neil, first of all, I got to say, I recommended many of these stocks on January 11th or before. I've got the report in my hand that I sent out to my subscribers, and here's the list. The shorts, first of all of this nonsense, all of this noise, all of this whining by Wall Street, it's making me sick. 140% of GameStop was short. I didn't hear one person on TV complaining about Wall Street trying to crush GameStop. 140% short. I told my subscribers, buy this stock, and they made a fortune. I also told them to buy Virgin Space. Virgin, we took profits on that today. Fizz, that's up huge. Tangers is up huge. Neil, you can't allow Wall Street to short 75% of a stock, and nobody says anything. Crush these companies into the dirt, and then when the individual investor makes money, everyone's up in arms. Oh, they're going to lose their shirt. Don't you think people are trading? If it traded 80 billion shares today, people are ringing the register. I have a kid who bought a house. He made $50,000 and bought a house. So yes, some people are going to lose and some are going to win. But if they want to change the rules of the game now because the general public is making money after decades of the shorts crushing thousands of stocks into the dirt. I have watched stocks being crushed completely to zero, and no one ever whispered anything because those stocks didn't have Wall Street sponsorship. They were small names. Maybe they went public through a reverse takeover. Whatever it was, the shorts have had their way with the market for decades. No one's ever complained about it. So I am thrilled. If you were going to try to destroy a company by shorting 140% of its stock, you have to accept the fact that individual investors are playing the same game that you're playing, and now you're losing.
That man deserves a fucking round of applause, seriously. When a Fox News guy, who again just a year ago was making up all these reasons why the NHS in the UK is a bad thing and how bad they suck, go back and watch the video. But when he comes out and has to cheer on the regular man here, and this is the stock guy, right? Like he's not just on Fox News, he's on Fox Business. Like their whole thing is about the market, right? So even he's sitting here like, listen, you whiny ass little shits, you're in the market. This is what the market is. It's a crapshoot. Literally, that everything I've ever understood about the stock market is a crapshoot. You could lose your money at any given time. All it takes is for the company to all of a sudden fuck up really badly one day and the stock price tank. And if you didn't get out in time, then you could really lose your money. So another thing I've been hearing a lot of is pump and dump. Now, what I've been kind of gathering more and more about what pump and dump is basically we're pumping all this money into the stock market and then we're all just going to dump it and sell it, if I'm understanding that correctly, right? So understand this. They're saying that's a market manipulation, yet there's also people out there who do what they call the high frequency trading. And what most people like myself have always heard about what you do in the stock market is you invest. And you let that money sit, right? That money sits and grows and grows. That's what I always heard. But see, I don't know if this necessarily pertains to hedge funds or just rich people who invest in the stock market or who necessarily does this. But what I do know is that they have this thing called high frequency trading. What that means is long time for these people is like milliseconds. They're in and out, 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 in and out. Like, because if you notice, it goes up, pops down, goes up, pops down. It's like they hop in just long enough when it's at the low price. It grows a little bit, pull it out. Move on to something else. They're in and out of these things non-stop. And they're just grabbing gains. And as soon as it looks like it's going to tank, they just switch right out, pull into something else. The little guy like me wouldn't even know where to fucking start with some shit like that. That's what these people sit around and they do. So a couple of Reddit users figure out a way to game these people who, as Charles Payne just pointed out, they are literally trying to crush companies for their own profit. And guess what you're doing when you crush that company? You're going to put all the people that work there out of business. Now, I know some people look at GameStop as what's going to be the next Blockbuster, because obviously Blockbuster and DVDs, and it just went away, right? And a lot of the stuff with the modern game consoles, you can download a game. You don't necessarily need a disc. Call me old school, but especially when it comes to games, I've downloaded a few games. I'd still prefer to have a hard disk copy, simply because there's been instances where if you have a console that is backwards compatible, which I know most of them are not these days. PS4 was not. I don't know if the PS5 is or not. I haven't bought a PS5 yet. But, the original PS3s were, for example, right? And so some of the games you couldn't even download it. And I had like old PS2 games that I would play every now and then. Well, I've got the disc. I could put them in and still play them. Okay? So if they're not going to bring in any kind of backwards compatibility, then yeah, it's kind of making the disc defunct, and then you still got to have the previous console to be able to play it at this point. But then they've also made, like on the PS4, where you can download certain PS3 games and you can play them on the... So yeah, odds are the disc stuff is going to phase out, more than likely. But, at the same time, GameStop still has a market, in my opinion. Maybe they just shift away from selling discs. I mean, okay, you can buy the game through the console and download it. But how you going to buy the console? Well, you could argue like Walmart, blah, 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 blah. Well, okay, but, Walmart's got one little section. Best Buy's got one little section. GameStop could go way more in depth, right? They're going to be able to sell all the gaming consoles, all the controllers, the accessories. They're going to have a store that could be dedicated to that. It might not just be so disc-oriented. They just have to find a new market. So am I convinced GameStop is doomed to fail? No. Could it? Sure. I mean, it all depends on how they run the company going forward as the times change. But they're trying to crush this company. And so these Reddit users all band together, figure out a way to stop it, or to crash these hedge fund managers, all these hedge fund people, and make them lose billions of dollars. And then Robinhood gets involved, shuts it down so that they can't be harmed any farther. They're costing all these people who tried to make something for themselves money. I mean, it literally screams what the hell George Carlin was talking about when he said it's a big old club and you ain't in it. The table's tilted, folks. The game is rigged. I mean, how can you not see that at this point? What makes you even more nervous is when you start hearing Wall Street people. I think what was it? The CEO of the NASDAQ was calling for regulation. Now that should make everyone's ears perk up just on that fact right there, because Wall Street is all about some deregulation for their benefit. They've been using that to their advantage for a hell of a long time. But the first time they gamble and lose, and the little guy's winning at their expense, these motherfuckers want regulation. So deregulation for them, so their billionaire pompous asses can sit around and make more and more and more and more and more money. But regulation on us so we can't fuck with them. Again, folks, I said this yesterday. I've not been an expert on the stock market. And maybe you're watching this video and you're not either, but you don't need to be. What you need to be is concerned about what's going on here. You need to speak up and use everything at your disposal to fight that. Be vocal. Hit social media. Furthermore, going back to a couple videos ago, censorship. You know, they've already taken a few people down from Discord. I think they've kicked them off of Robinhood or something. And they're accusing them of hate speech. Hate speech. Hate speech. Why? Because they're probably saying something about these billionaire people getting their comeuppance. So here you go. There, again, George Carlin, it's a big old club and you ain't in it. The people who've been so adamant to have deregulation for decades. Glass-Steagall, anyone? Want regulation now against you. Furthermore than that, let's hear what this jackass had to say.
The reason the market is doing what it's doing is people are sitting at home getting the checks from the government, okay? And this fair share is a bullshit concept. It's just a way of attacking wealthy people. And, you know, I think it's inappropriate. We all got to work together and pull together.
You know what, you old fucking expired piece of shit? I completely agree with you. You might be past your expiration date, my friend, but I agree with you, ass. We need to pull together. So here's your fucking bootstraps. Pull your ass up, bitch. Ain't that what the fuck you tell all the damn working class people in this fucking country when they're down on their luck, when they lose their home, when they lose their job, when they lose their way of life, when they lose a family member, when they lose all their fucking income due to medical debt that they can't fucking pay? Pull your ass up by your bootstraps. Ain't that what your old fucking raggedy, wrinkled ass would say to that person? So you fucking do it, you piece of shit. Who in the fuck are you? Who in the fuck are you? Because your billionaire bloated butt is losing some fucking money to talk about how we need to work together and pull together now, when the only fucking work your ass has probably been doing is for your own fucking benefit at the expense of people like myself and other hardworking people across this country. Fuck you and your goddamn horse that you rode the fuck in on, you jackass. Just fuck off with all that bullshit. Seriously. That kind of fucking attitude, I'm going to tell you one thing. If there's one damn thing that will piss me the fuck off and make me explode, it's a rich fucker like that who looks down his nose at hardworking people, but then the fucking minute his ass has a struggle and the little people have a fucking win, oh no, we're supposed to be working together. We're supposed to be pulling together. Everybody drawing checks from the government. Well, fucktard, why would they be drawing checks from the government? Do you recall that many people were put out of work because of lockdowns last year? And some of those jobs that were closed due to lockdowns went out of business entirely. You know, they went out of fucking business the same way you wanted GameStop to go out of business when all your fucking little hedge fund people, and you might have even been one, I don't know, were shorting their stock and betting on them to fail so you could fucking profit. Those other places and businesses, they went out of business the same way. So everyone who worked there lost their fucking job. So if they've got no form of income, they're being told to stay the fuck home. Why wouldn't they need a goddamn stimulus check? But furthermore than that, dude, we ain't even getting monthly stimulus checks. We're not doing what Canada did. We're not doing what Australia did. Last fucking year, we got a whopping grand total of $1,800 over a period of nearly 10 fucking months. Now, do I need to break that down for you on roughly how much money that is a month? $1,800 divided by 10, you son of a bitch, is $180 a month. Who the fuck can live off of $180 a month in this goddamn country? And you want to bitch about a fucking stimulus check? Fuck you. No one can live off of $180 a month. So if you think because they got $180 a month in this country that they were able to take that fucking money, which would not cover rent in almost any fucking place in my own state, and we have low fucking cost of living here. It's not like New York, Florida, California, or any of those places, but you still couldn't even pay rent here for $180 a month. And if you could find a place, I damn sure wouldn't want to have to live in it, because it would be in the dumps, I promise you. But $108 a month, and you think they were able to take that vast fucking wealth that was given to them by the government and use that shit to hurt your fucking stock hedge fund buddies? The fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. This is a clear symptom. These fuckers don't want to work for the country or with the country when they stand to profit off of fucking the country. But the minute they got bent over with no Vaseline, oh no, people, all this damn money sitting on their couch at home. Well, guess what? You stupid son of a bitch. You know how many times I've been able to sit home even through the pandemic, even through the lockdown? I was deemed an essential worker. So, you know what that means? I've been working still about 40 hours plus ever since COVID started. My wife was quarantined. Well, not quarantined, but she was laid off. Her business closed. And she was out for probably a little over a month. But she went back to work. Luckily, hers was not put out of business. So, I hadn't been sitting at home collecting shit, sitting on my couch. I've been off this week. That's because I used my vacation time before I was going to lose it. So I just took a week off. But the government didn't pay me. My job did because it was paid time off. So fuck you. These fucking people arguably piss me off more than any other group of people in existence. They really do. When I hear the bullshit that comes out of their mouth, it infuriates me. It infuriates me because I grew up in a working class, blue collar family who was hardworking and worked themselves down to the bone. Worked themselves to death to have just a little in this world. And I know what people like that think of the people I grew up with. I know what they think of the peasants. Or just like on the Titanic. I know what they think of the steerage. People like me. People like the ones that I grew up around. People like my family. The hardworking members of my family. I had a couple of moochers in my family. But for the most part, my family were hardworking people. They went to work every day, nose to the grindstone, busted their ass. It affected their health. It affected their body. It tore it down. Bad back, bad knees. I know what having to work like that did to them over the years. And I know what people like you think about us. We're beneath you. We're not good enough to be in your inner circle. We're the steerage. We're just peasants. You are the people who have the wealth and the power. And we just need to do what you tell us to do. That's what you think of us. And all of a sudden, maybe it was some guys just sitting around on the couch. Maybe it wasn't guys like me. But it doesn't matter. They weren't rich like you. Somebody had the bright idea on how to put the screws to you. And they fucking did. And now you want to whine and bitch and moan about losing everything you had. I don't even know if you lost everything you had. But I know some of those hedge funds crashed and potentially are going to be bailed out. Oh, but again, you're fucking being bailed out. So when you fuckers play with the market, when you bet against stuff, when you cause these crashes. When the housing market crashed, how many of my people, how many people of my peasant class were bailed out? Y'all manipulated a fucking market. You hurt our lives. And we were told to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. We manipulate the market and hurt you. We all gotta be working together and we gotta be pulling together. Okay, old motherfucker. You might be old with a bad back. I don't give a fuck. My family's old with a bad back too, and you tell them to pull themselves up by their fucking bootstraps? Now it's your turn, you son of a bitch. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and shut the fuck up.